How can you tell the difference from God is opening this door for me versus did I just make a big mistake taking this job when you start seeing red flags? Meaning, do you take the red flags as an opportunity to grow or leave? Well, baby, I can answer this question real quick. I have a basic rubric that I utilize in identifying what to do in this situation. And it is, and you've heard it before on this show, we've been doing it for 5 years. It's time to go when a challenge becomes a stress. That's it. So a challenge is something that strengthens you. Even though you're tired when you're done, you're not drained, right? Like even though it's strenuous, you're not exhausted. You have, you gained something from the effort. That's a challenge. A stress, it drains you. It strains you. It removes inspiration from you. So when you get a job that feels like an opportunity and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then the red flag starts showing and you have to ask yourself, well, dang, like, is this a way to grow or is this a way to let go? That's how you know. Sometimes it is a way to grow and then it becomes stressful. And so that's when you leave. But I think for the most part, the whole job thing is that we all got bills to pay. And it just feels crazy to like get into a position that you've always wanted and then not like it. And then you feel like, well, I mean, who am I to not like this position that I got? And now you have the ungratefulness that starts coming down the pike, right? Right? I know y'all listening like, oh, yeah. You get the ungratefulness that comes down the pike. You get the who do you think you are coming down the pike. You get the how dare you. How dare you not want this opportunity that you done put so much work in? Well, when you started the process, you probably didn't have the same consciousness that you did when you got to this point in the process, right? I mean, that happens all the time. That's how people grow out of each other in relationships. And you can apply the same thing. Sometimes you're in a relationship and you're there and everything is what it is. And then you reach a point where you're like, I know this is a good person, but I'm just really not interested in being with them no more. Have you ever seen the movie Blue Valentine with Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams? First of all, when I saw the movie, me and my homegirl Emily, we literally had to sit in the theater for like 30 minutes after, just like in a stupor, because we were just like, wow, maybe this love thing really doesn't matter. Really. But honestly, like that movie was a great example of, even though this man loved this woman to the brim, to the hilt, even though he saw her through her darkest time, she just reached a point where he just couldn't fulfill her to where she had gotten to. And then she felt like she was such a bad person for not wanting to be with him anymore. But you got to be honest with yourself. And the risk in those situations comes in, well, will something better come along? If I exit this situation that I wanted so badly and that I've put so much time into, will something better come along? And you got to believe that, yes, it will. I really just believe that in general, if you are moving in purpose, something better will come along. If you are moving in kindness, I know this is very idealistic and I know it's like, Amanda, get out of here. The world is crazy. But I just like to believe, and maybe I like to believe this because what other reason is there to not believe it other than just believing that everything is going to fail and then you just don't do anything? Well, I'm not trying to spend my time here on that tip. I'm not. I'm really not. So I operate in that mindset of like, if I'm moving in purpose and I'm moving in thoughtfulness and I'm moving in kindness, then it's going to work out. Now, again, the thoughtfulness part is the thing too. Like, I'm not out here just like, whatever. No, there is a thoughtfulness that is there. And you keep working, you keep trying, you keep thinking, it's not like you just say, I'm just going, when they say, I know the Christians out there, I'm going to give it to Jesus. Some situations you give to Jesus because you're like, I can't figure this out, so I need to give this to a higher power. But what that really means is I can't figure this out, so I'm going to give this to a higher power in the hopes that answers come back to me. Well, that higher power could be Jesus. That higher power could be the ancestors. That higher power could be Allah. That higher power could be just the energy of the universe. But what it is saying, like, I'm going to free my mind in order to let my mind come up with something else.